Alright guys, welcome back. Some commentary for, rarely does a video I make change my perception forever of Madden, but this one actually did it. We're going to talk about receivers, timing routes, interacting with the pass. I've got Canadian football here, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to time this pass as best I can. I'm dropping back about 4 seconds, and I'm throwing a ball, and I'm letting the receiver go and get it. And I want you to notice a couple things. And the first thing I want you to notice is, hey, this game is not perfect. When I throw this pass, I want you to notice the receiver actually adjusts to locate the ball, but the corner does too. And the corner shouldn't be doing that. He should be either coming up underneath the receiver to try to deflect the pass or going for an interception. So I don't like that at all. But as I started to do this, I realized that when you don't have animations in the game, you get a much more organic feel. I'm throwing the ball, I've got safeties and corners trying to interact with it, and I've got a receiver that's not contained to an animation. I can lead the pass to him, make him more open. In some cases, I can underthrow the ball in error and actually make him more covered than he is. Great example here when there's a breakdown in this coverage. I'm not sure what the safety is doing. He doesn't go over the top the way he had been, and you can see I lead the receiver a little bit. He goes in and scores a touchdown. You're going to see the same exact thing happen here, and I really enjoyed the way this felt. Single safety over the top now. I'm going to have that same opportunity to kind of lead the ball out, have him catch it in stride, and then go into the end zone. Now I want you to take a look at where these passes landed. This is where the actual targeting is, and these are the closest two together between this one and this one. Now, you can go back and watch. I thought I did pretty good for a human being trying to time it out and hit a button. But some of these are way off. Look at how close this one is to the 10-yard line. When we come up at another one here, you're going to look at how far down it is on the 10-yard line. And then obviously we're going to look at the one that's the furthest over. And the important thing to remember is this is the ball being interacted with by the receiver. Now, when we go to Madden, obviously you guys know Madden uses an animation system. And the problem I found relatively quickly is when you're trying to time passes, there's only so many animations, and the animations that are there can only be interacted so many ways. So take a look at this. T.Y. Hilton goes out, catches it, kind of stumbles to the ground. Both of the defensive backs kind of slide after him. So I'm doing the same thing, timing it, and I notice, okay, there's only so many animations for this area of the field. So now I've got 2 in a row of the same animation. Sure enough, we go back through, drop back, throw it again. Well, now I've got 3 in a row of the same animation. Not only is he catching it the same exact way, but the defensive players really don't have a way of interacting with him. So we go here, he catches it, kind of goes into a truck animation, drops the ball. I go back again, pretty much have the same exact thing happen. Catches it, goes into this tackle animation, drops the ball. Now I'm going to do more in Madden than I did with Canadian football, but only because, in a way, I was really awestruck by how those things played out. And when I went back and looked at what we did with Canadian football is where these balls were being caught, I noticed relatively quickly that these passes are all very, very similar as far as accuracy. And that's one thing to throw a ball through a tire. It's another to put them all within maybe the same foot on the field. So you know that there's no real leading with this. This is just animations where the player is essentially connected to the ball. You don't have a lot of control over this as a gamer. And this isn't something that I'd really sat down and studied before. I think we all know that the animations limit the game, but I didn't know they limited them this much. When you go back and you take a look at these slowed down a little bit, that's where you really see T.Y. is going out and catching this in an animation, and no one can interact with him. Now, keep in mind, this is a different play. This is the one where the message is going to come up. Thankfully, I got that to show you guys it's a different play. Same exact result in animations. You come back to Canadian football, I'm not saying this is better, but my God, this is so much more football-esque. No one in real life is catching in an animation, I understand that, but in real life you have receivers that can adjust and quarterbacks that can throw in different places, and that's just not happening with Madden. This, to me, is a big reason why the game always feels stale, always feels repetitive, always feels like you're getting cheated because we're in such a box with what the players can do. They can only interact with each other in the ball in certain ways, and most of that comes down to animations. And not only that, let's not forget, if there was a different quarterback or there was a different receiver, it's the same animation library. So you may not have that same ability to develop that chemistry, lead that receiver open, or maybe not have the player that can constantly get the ball out far enough for him to catch it. Love to know your thoughts on this, though. I appreciate you checking it out, and I'll be back in the week with more commentary.